Raul, a man who hates Christmas, finds himself auditing a Christmas fudge factory. He soon becomes famous as the Grinch. But a local girl, Paula, promises to bring out the best in him. At the office Christmas party, everyone asks their boss, Emilio, to give a speech. They're ending the year on a great note, with the best results of the decade. Raul is the only one who seems uneasy among the celebrations. He tries to leave the party by claiming he's headed to the bathroom. His colleague, Morales, stops him. Since Raul doesn't have any friends, he asks for his honest opinion on whether he should have been promoted. Raul suggests he should talk to Emilio, which gives him an excuse to sneak out. He tries his best to get away from the celebrations and screams at Santa for offering fudge to him. A little girl scolds Raul for talking to Santa like that. But when Raul mentions how her Santa is probably a drunkard in a rented outfit, her mother takes her away. He takes off all the decorations when he's home and listens to messages from his mother. She wants him to come home for Christmas, but he chooses to ignore her. He is only excited about his vacation in the Caribbean islands next week, so he can be thousands of miles away from Christmas celebrations. Raul is very organized and particular about time. Emilio calls him to his office because he wants Raul to audit a firm out of town. Raul reminds him he applied for his vacation to Cuba months ago. When Emilio asks why he hates Christmas, Raul remembers when he was a kid and his dog, Jasper, perished due to an accident. But he doesn't share a reason and asks Emilio to find someone else. But no one is available this close to Christmas. Emilio assures him the job can be done in a few days. It'll give him plenty of time to be back and catch his flight. He gives Raul a file of the food factory in Valverde, in the Pyrenees. Raul starts driving down to the little town. Just when he thinks it's not bad, he finds too many lights and Christmas cheer. Trying to get away from all this, he crashes his car into a manger. A local woman, Paula, comes to check on him. She doesn't like his pessimism and asks him to not be so negative so close to Christmas. She is proud that they perform a live nativity. But Raul thinks all that is nonsense, and she's wasting her time. As the director of the nativity for 8 years, she takes offense. By the time Raul leaves, they both pretty much hate each other. Outside the inn, Raul finds a man building a partner for a lonely snowman. He thinks life isn't worth living without a companion, and asks Raul to ponder over it. Raul meets the owner, Blanca, who seems very excited. But Raul wants to just head to his room to get some sleep. As soon as he enters the suite, he removes all the Christmas decorations. When he heads down for work the next morning, his car starts acting funny. He calls Emilio to ask why he's auditing a Christmas fudge factory called Yuletide. Emilio knew if he mentioned it earlier, Raul wouldn't have gone. He asks Emilio to send someone else. But Emilio threatens to fire Raul if he doesn't finish his work. Raul seems to be okay about getting fired. But when his car doesn't work, he knows he will stay back. He meets the director of the factory, Mateo Salinas, who thinks the town is one big family. The receptionist, Luisa, matches his enthusiasm. Raul asks for the office so he can start working. But Mateo wants to show him the factory first. He describes how the almonds are roasted and mixed with the fudge paste. Arturo is the master fudge maker, who thinks it tastes like Christmas in his mouth. Mateo then explains how the paste is turned into a solid block, which is then cut into tablets to be packaged. He meets Pilar and Sigario, who also works at the factory. Another local, Marga, has been with them for 20 years. Samar and Digais also discuss the ideal shapes for their items. But their biggest pride is that they employ most of the village people. The man who met Raul outside the inn turns out to be Mateo's father, and the owner of the factory. But he's distracted with a small plane and throws it towards Raul, who falls into a barrel to dodge it. He can't even seem to get a taxi out, and his car has also been sent for repair. A friendly couple, Maria Jose and Jose Maria, offers to drop him to the inn. They don't want him to walk all the way. They're excited about their baby getting born before Christmas, so he can take part in the live nativity. This makes Raul remember Paula, who happens to be Maria's cousin. He takes off the decorations again when he comes back to the room. But he can't find a towel after his shower and asks Blanca. She asks her daughter to take towels to his suite. Her daughter turns out to be Paula, who apologizes about the car incident. She hopes they can be friends, but he's in a hurry to get his towel. When he ignores another call from his mom, she suggests he can pick it up. But he asks her to not interfere in his private business. She finds him very rude. Before leaving, she takes out the snow globe from the drawer. The employees of the factory are very eager to know how an auditor works. Marga also interrupts his calculations to talk about her son. Paula is worried because Martin can't repair the manger before Christmas. Maria calls out to Paula so they can start taking auditions for the nativity. They all want different roles, and Nico prefers something more suited to millennials. At the end, they have too many people for the same role, and no messenger angels. Paula offers Mateo a role, but he claims he's too busy with the factory. He wants to show her something, and takes her to the new manger he got for her. When he asks her for dinner, she makes it clear she doesn't want to date him. He still thinks they made a perfect couple when they were kids. But Paula reminds him they only kissed a few times when they were 15. Now, she just wants to be friends. Blanca assures Paula she doesn't have to settle for Mateo if she doesn't feel anything. When Blanca was young, she met a man she wanted to be with forever when they danced for the first time. The man was Paula's father, and Blanca knew he was the one. Luisa and the others ask Raul to join them for lunch, but he claims he's busy and prefers to eat at his desk. He drops something on his shirt and goes to the bathroom. He finds Luisa giving a tour to the kids about the origins of the factory. Marshall Salinas, who was an expert in the technique of making fudge, opened a family business in 1923. That business is now the factory they are in, which is a pride of Spain and their village. When the kids all feel they want to be fudge makers, Raul thinks they have been brainwashed. Paula, who is also the kids' teacher, asks why Raul always has to be so cynical. Paula does a lot for the village, and even takes health classes and teaches karate. She wants Raul to know their village is very different from the city, because they know their neighbors. Raul is glad he doesn't, because he prefers if people don't meddle in his life. The kids ask Mateo if he's the happiest man because he is surrounded by fudge. Mateo thinks it takes more than fudge to be happy. When he gives a look to Paula, Raul understands what's going on. Paula wants Raul to know how important Christmas spirit is for their village. When they had no work, Yuletide saved the people by giving them jobs at the factory. Raul still wants to celebrate Christmas as far away as possible. She thinks he's a Grinch and asks why he hates Christmas. Raul remembers the time he tried to kiss a girl, but her friends threw cake at him. He describes everything he hates about Christmas, like the horrible relatives and pointless stuff people buy. He also hates everything from carols to the tacky lights. He gets too passionate and declares he hates Christmas. The kids start calling him a Grinch and laugh at him when he falls on the tree. Everyone stares at Raul when he enters the bar. The bartender, Karim, recognizes him as the auditor who hates Christmas. Word has clearly spread about him, but Raul asks for red wine. When Karim also asks why he hates Christmas, Raul gets a flashback of the time he was excited about the countdown to the new year. His girlfriend, Candela, was missing, so he started searching for her. He found her hooking up with his best friend, Tobias. But Raul claims there's no specific reason. Karim also secretly admits he's not too fond of Christmas lights and the annoying children. Paula is excited when she gets a call and runs to the bar. She announces that after 5 years, Guinness World Records has finally accepted their application. They will get the title of the biggest dramatized live nativity in the world, which is currently held by a village in South America. As everyone celebrates, Paula offers Raul a roll if he wants. Karim announces alcohol on the house, and Maria takes Paul for a dance. Raul keeps watching Paula dance, but leaves when he feels weird. Paula asks Martin to lift Jose to check if the pulley works, but it's too old and jammed, and Jose is stuck. Maria learns from a farmer that the mule he was lending them for the nativity has perished. Even Luisa comes with bad news about them needing extra costumes. It's clear they don't have the budget to handle all issues. Everyone is panicking, but Paula assures them she will find a solution. Raul can tell Paula is stressed because of the budget. She feels like Raul won't care since it's related to Christmas. But Raul offers help, because he's good at handling accounts irrespective of the problem. Raul can tell she's only looking at expenses and not the yields. The nativity is bound to be a huge tourist attraction, so she needs to consider the income. He prepares a financial plan with an estimate of the income Valverde will receive. He is sure the town council will agree to increase the budget with this plan. She can't believe he helped so much, and hugs him. Raul thanks her because he doesn't get to feel like a hero too often. She feels that underneath the surface, he's not so much of a Grinch. The lights go out, and Paula takes Raul to the basement to check the fuse. She shows him her father's skis. He passed away when she was very young, and her mother decided to turn the house into an inn. She comes to this place whenever she misses him, because her dad knew how to make people better. She shows him pictures of her dad and a mountain she knows he might love. She feels bad he's not staying longer. As she moves towards him, Raul feels like she's about to kiss him. But she fixes the fuse, and the lights come back on. They decide to call it a night. When he comes back to his room, he doesn't put the snow globe away. The next day in office, Raul notices an error in the accounts and tells Mateo. He finds that the indirect expenses don't match the values on the balance sheet. Mateo claims he has no idea about this. His dad comes into the office to ask for a stamp so he can post his letter to the Three Kings. Mateo realizes something and feels the accounts might be improper because of his dad's condition. Raul feels bad about it, but he knows he has to report the discrepancies. Mateo starts freaking out because he's scared the bank will not renew their line of credit. He is also afraid of firing people. He asks Raul for a bit more time to find his father's mistakes and correct them. Raul is eager to finish up soon and go to Cuba. But when Mateo asks him to think about the employees, he reluctantly agrees to give Mateo 1 more week. Back at the inn, Paula thanks him for helping her get the budget approved. She's upset he won't get to see the nativity, but he informs her that he's staying back. He mentions a work thing, but Blanca is just happy he has decided to stay. The inn is decked up for Christmas, and even Raul celebrates with his colleagues. On Christmas Eve, Maria and Jose come over to have dinner. Raul has a strict Christmas Eve tradition of going to bed by 10. Paula insists he has to stay, but he gets another flashback. He is a child again, and asks his grandma to change the channel. But when he comes to check, he notices she is deceased. Everyone starts sharing stories during the meal. Blanca remembers the time she was in labor and her husband, Julio, took her to the hospital during the snowstorm. Their car got stuck, but a gynecologist showed up on the road. This is why Blanca is sure Paula is a result of a Christmas miracle. Paula notices the smirk on Raul's face. He claims every miracle has a rational explanation. But she asks how he can explain people falling in love with someone they're rationally not supposed to be with. After dinner, Mateo brings gifts for Blanca and Paula. Raul wants to leave early, but Blanca thinks they should play charades. Maria acts out a movie Jose struggles to guess. But when it's Raul's turn, Paula instantly recognizes the movie. Even Blanca can't seem to get Mateo's acting. As they keep playing, Raul and Paula instantly guess each other's movies. This frustrates Mateo because he doesn't like how much in sync they are. Paula wants Raul to be her partner forever, but clarifies she's talking about charades. When the songs start playing, Mateo gets up when Paula approaches him, but she ignores him to ask Raul to dance with her. Raul initially hesitates, but their chemistry is undeniable. They only get back to reality when Mateo clears his throat. Raul awkwardly decides to have a snack as Maria teases Paula about Raul. When Raul chokes on something, everyone thinks he's playing charades, but Paula realizes he's choking and saves his life. Just when he starts feeling relieved, his jacket catches fire. Jose throws Maria's drink on him, but it makes it worse because of the alcohol. Raul eventually finds his way to the snowman to stop the fire. The people around think he's being a Grinch. Raul deliberately misses Christmas lunch because of the embarrassment, but Paula takes him to a screening of a Christmas movie. He claims to hate these movies more than the holiday itself, but Paula can't let him leave as the president of the film club. Halfway through the movie, Paula notices Raul sobbing. He looks over at her too, and kisses her. Blanca notices the passion between them, and Mateo seems very jealous. Mateo goes through Raul's laptop before he arrives the next day. He claims he came to assure Raul the accounts will be fixed soon. But Raul wants him to take his time, and Mateo doesn't like that he seems too happy. When Paula is trying to coordinate things again, Raul reminds her she can always delegate. He takes her out to dinner, and they laugh about people at his office. He wants her to know it's fine to think about herself. But Paula likes doing things for others. When her dad passed away, the entire village became like a family. This time, when she asks why he hates Christmas, Raul explains it. As a kid, he was standing in line to ask Santa for a present, but his parents told him they're getting divorced. He feels like they have ruined Christmas forever. Paula kisses him and assures him this year will be better. On Paula's insistence, Raul finally picks up his mom's call. He makes her happy by offering to have lunch with her on New Year's Day. The kids call him a Grinch and throw snowballs at him, but Raul plays along and hits them back. When he joins Maria and Jose, his attitude towards them is very warm. He even gets along with the office staff, and Arturo invites him for an exclusive card game. After rehearsals, Mateo asks to speak to Paula. He takes her to their 5th grade classroom. He claims to be upset he might lose Yuletide after dreaming about managing it for years. He mentions that Raul found some errors in the accounts. He wants her to believe Raul is a horrible person, but Paula just thinks he's being jealous. But Mateo makes up a story about how Raul has planned to destroy the factory. He uses the fact that Raul didn't tell her about the accounts. He makes her believe that he just wanted to sleep with her. He somehow convinces her that Raul plans to put all the factory workers out of business. Luisa overhears this and informs Maria about Raul's speech. This soon turns into a game of Chinese whispers, as people in the town start believing anything. Some of them think Raul punched Mateo, and won't stop till he destroys the whole village. When Raul comes to office next time, everyone is rude to him. Even Maria and Jose leave without him, and people throw stuff at him. He tries to get some comfort at the fireplace, but even Paula is acting strange with him. She asks about the accounts. He claims he didn't mention it since he didn't want to worry her, but she thinks all the people of the village will be out of work because of him. Raul seems confused and doesn't understand why she thinks the factory will close. He knows Mateo has told her something. When he mentions he had to include the small errors in the report, Paula's suspicions are confirmed. She doesn't believe anything he says and thinks he was only using her. He is offended she thinks like that, but she feels bad about trusting someone unfeeling like him. Everyone at the bar hates him too, and Karim refuses to give him the drink he wants. People close their doors as he walks down the street. Even a dog scares him, and he falls right next to a Grinch snowman named after him. Raul tries to talk to Paula in the morning, but she shuts the door on him. Even Maria and Jose ignore him on the way to office. Since his heater is broken too, he is glad to find Mateo's dad offering him a warm drink. He wonders why he's the only person who doesn't hate him in the village. This makes Raul wonder about Mateo, but he hasn't seen him recently. Paula is irritated by Luisa talking in the middle of rehearsal. She doesn't seem to care that they're all on edge because of the Yuletide problem. She keeps getting irritated with loud noises and phones ringing. Nico asks Paula to take it easy, but she doesn't want to look stupid in front of the world record judges. She shouts about them taking it too lightly. Nico wants her to know it's not their fault Raul turned out to be a jerk. Paula shouts at him and kicks him out of the rehearsal. Raul tries to confront Mateo about the lies he told Paula. but Mateo claims she must have misunderstood. Raul wants to ask more questions, but Mateo claims he's busy with a group of people who want to steal his recipe. As Raul feels sick, Paula drinks in frustration. Karim doesn't want to give her more drinks because she needs to rest before the nativity. She feels tired of people telling her what to do and wants to say no to everyone. She gets irritated with everything related to Christmas and starts destroying the decorations. Mateo can tell she's very drunk and offers to drop her home. She feels stupid she trusted Raul because she thought he was honest. But Mateo sticks to his story of how horrible Raul is and thinks he doesn't understand the true value of Yuletide. She feels guilty about her drunken rant when Mateo could lose his factory. He claims he just wants to get away and spend time with himself in his house in Algarve. Paula thinks she needs some time too, so he offers to take her out after Christmas. He tries to kiss her, but she moves away. He apologizes for getting carried away. She thinks it's fine between them, but she needs some time. She asks for a hug, and Raul watches them from his window. Paula wakes up on the day of the nativity and starts getting ready. She drops Nico's jacket and realizes she wants him back. He teases her about wanting him to break the record, but agrees to join her. Raul spots Paula on the way and wishes her luck. There's a lot of chaos backstage, and everyone comes to Paula with their problems. When Maria informs her the world record guy, Mr. Fuentes, is there, Paula feels numb. When more people try to discuss their issues, she shouts at them. Paula is crying in a room when Maria asks her to come out. Paula is tired of the nativity and feels like she wants to quit. Maria thinks nothing happens without her, but Paula can't handle all this. When Maria points out how everyone worships her, she opens the door and thanks her. Emilio calls Raul to a meeting on Monday, but he's still finishing up in Valverde. Emilio has already received Raul's email with the report and mailed it to the client. Raul realizes Mateo must have mailed the report. He also learns a Chintz investment group requested for the audit and remembers seeing Mateo with them. Emilio only knows that the investors wanted to see the accounts before buying the factory. Raul explains to Emilio that Mateo sent him a fake report. Raul didn't report them sooner because he was thinking about the people of the village. Emilio is surprised this is the time Raul chose to find his Christmas spirit. Raul finds Mateo and asks to speak with him. He gets into the car to directly tell Mateo he knows everything. Mateo admits he was trying to sell the factory. He claims it's because Valverde is only good for a few days. He doesn't want to spend his life there like his father. Mateo is getting a great deal out of this and offers Raul a bribe for his silence. He thinks Raul should take it since everyone in the village hates him. But Raul knows they only hate him because of Mateo's lies. He asks Mateo to think about his father and the other people with families and mortgages. Mateo pretends to agree with him and claims people do weird things for money. He then unlocks Raul's seatbelt and pushes him out of the car. Paula gives an inspirational speech about how close they are to making a record. But Maria feels a contraction, and Jose wants to take her to the hospital. Paula panics and convinces them to stay. She claims it'll be hours before another contraction. Raul wakes up in the snow with no one around. He finds an empty sled with reindeer, but can't seem to make them move. The nativity begins, but Nico uses millennial slang in the middle. Paula scolds him, and feels bad because Fuentes also noticed. Raul knows he needs to say Merry Christmas, which activates the reindeers and they start moving. Mateo asks the Chinese delegates to sign the papers, but one of them wants to watch the nativity first. Mateo pretends there's a lot of time before that, but the man gets up and joins his dad in the balcony. The reindeers drop Raul in the snow when Jose is getting ready to go in as the messenger angel. But Maria is feeling a lot of pain, and Jose can't ignore it now. He decides to take her to the hospital, and thinks Paula's life is very empty if she cares more about the nativity even now. Paula takes the wings to Blanca, but she only agrees to be the chestnut vendor. They're all waiting for the messenger angel when Raul arrives at the spot. He wants to tell Paula about Mateo, but she asks him to get ready and immediately take his position. When Raul gets suspended in the air, Mateo asks the Chinese delegates to come inside. But instead of saying his lines, Raul asks for everyone's attention. He explains how Mateo has been conning all of them all along. Mateo tries to explain, but even his dad is disappointed in him. The Chinese delegates leave in anger and his dad announces that he is still the owner. In that capacity, he will make sure nothing happens to the factory. As they all boo Mateo, his dad asks him to get out. Martin accidentally presses the lever, and Raul falls. When Paula comes to check on him, he apologizes for making her lose her chance at the record. But she doesn't care anymore, and neither does the rest of the village. They all cheer for the Grinch who saved them. Before leaving, Raul tells Paula he witnessed a miracle when a sled appeared out of nowhere. Paula knows it must be Tono's sled, who runs excursions around the slopes. He feels stupid for thinking it was a miracle. But when Paula mentions the sled has dogs, he gets confused. Raul leaves after awkwardly kissing her on the cheek. He keeps looking at her through the rearview mirror and deliberately crashes his car. He gets out to tell her there weren't any dogs, and kisses her. Sometime in the past, Raul makes fun of the Santa in the bar. The same Santa comes from behind and hits him on the head.